It's realizing that people are temporary. This is a
Mm.
tough one. I'm not gonna lie. This is a tough one because it was a point in my life where I just felt like everybody that was in my circle, they were going to be there forever, and this and that. But
Yeah.
like, describe a time when you felt like you realize people are temporary.
I think obviously going out on to college.
Yeah,
I think college, that's probably the biggest situation, at least for me recently, because I mean, I still keep track with a lot of people from high school. Like we still, hang out a good amount. But the biggest thing too is like obviously, when you're stuck in the school system for so many years with the same people,
yeah,
like it's obviously been 12 years. So obviously it's like, you're spending so much time with these individuals. You think it's always going to stay this way. And
yeah,
we're going to go to college in the same town. We're going to do this. We're going to have the same classes. And like little by little, like it even spans from like elementary, middle school, like you have more classes, but you have more opportunities to not be in those classes with those individuals.
yeah,
Uh, it sort of increases over time, and then eventually once you leave high school, everybody goes their separate ways, and obviously there's still communication that's very much intact,
yeah,
but obviously in some way, shape, or form, it's gonna be less and less as you go on. And that's even talking about the fact that like people just have their own different directions that they go in life to where it's like no one's on the same path.
yeah.
And you
That's true.
realize you're ahead of some people, you might be behind some people, but at the end of the day, it's what your sort of story lies and what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's definitely kind of just to get us in started. So like what happens when we get too attached though, like to people without really being cautious? Let's just say you're not in that state of, that people are temporary. Like what happens? What could be like some effects to not knowing?
Well, this is crazy because we're literally talking about this in class. I feel like once attachment hits a certain peak to where you feel overly attached to somebody or something along that line, there are some sort of consequences. Obviously, for one, like if separation were to happen,
Yeah.
you might feel like especially for the individual that is attached, it's like, oh, they feel like something internally is missing when realistically it's just somebody else maybe doing something, going off, moving, whatever. Uh Obviously, in another sense, like them leaving my person might experience some sort of like grief, some sort of, feeling sadness, like especially in this case of like, oh, this person's almost a part of myself and now they're not here. And I don't know how to function or I don't know.
Yeah.
They almost lose a part of themselves. But at the same time, as you mentioned, people are temporary, not meaning like, hey, your homies are literally only there for X amount of time and you'll never
Yeah.
speak to them again. It's just more so like you need to figure out that, or at least you need to build that individuality to where you can depend on yourself at certain moments. There will always be people in your life,
Yeah.
but you don't want to become too attached to where it's, hey, I don't feel like I can function without this person.
Without that, yeah. Ooh, that's a gem right there. That's definitely a
Yeah.
gem. Just to really, yeah, and just to add on what you're saying, man, it if we don't do that, we just tend to expect too much from people,
Yeah.
from certain people to the point where, it's a lot of miscommunication, it's a lot of assuming, a lot of this, a lot of arguments. You feel me? And
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like that type of thing, you just got to realize, like, you got to experience some things first. And then once you experience some stuff with people, it's going to make you realize, like, well, dang, you know, they're not going to always be there. And
Yeah.
you might not always be there. So it's like, you can't expect too much. And if a person can't do something, okay, that's fine. And keep going,
Yeah. You just need to
you
build that
know?
relationship,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely key. You really y'all just realize, especially I had to kind of learn this, that people are temporary, seasonal. Enjoy them while they're in
There.
in the
Yeah.
section right now. But it's we're gonna be so many more people in this life, so we just gotta remember that.
For sure.
We definitely just gotta remember that. Our fourth topic, man. And this kind of follows up with this last one, but